Well, now for an NDTV exclusive, how MPs are holding up bigger warnings on tobacco products. The question is why? Let's go across to Siddharth now for more on this for all the details.
Well, good morning, Gargi. Yes, absolutely. In fact, in April this year, the country missed a very important deadline, and that deadline was to try and enhance the pictorial health warnings on tobacco products. In India, every year, roughly 1 million people lose their lives due to tobacco consumption and illnesses and deaths because of tobacco. And the government, in fact, had said that as far as health warnings on tobacco products are concerned, from the 1st of April, India would enforce 85% of the package of any tobacco product would have pictorial health warnings, which basically dissuades smokers and those consuming tobacco from taking up the habit. But India missed that deadline because the head of the committee, the parliamentary committee, said that we need more time to look into the various aspects. Now, NDTV has actually got several documents, internal documents from the Health Ministry. These are documents we've accessed through the Right to Information Act, and they've clearly shown us a very different picture. This, of course, is a letter from Mr. Gandhi, Dilip Gandhi, who's the head of that particular panel, where he actually asks for a delay now in the implementation of bigger pictorial warnings. As far as the documents that we've unearthed, we've actually got documents which tell us that the ministry internally had told the minister and, in fact, the senior officials that there was no reason to delay the pictorial warnings. And in fact, let me just try and get the graphics for you. The politicians, in fact, got their facts wrong. Dilip Gandhi, who was the head of that, who in fact is the head of that panel, says that Pakistan doesn't have 85% pictorial warnings. So in fact, he cites the example of Pakistan and Malawi, in fact, as countries who don't have that, and that's why he makes the case that India perhaps should delay it. Legal experts, in fact, and Health Ministry have corrected him, saying that Pakistan, incidentally, now has enforced 85% warnings. Not just that, the politicians have also got their law wrong. Dilip Gandhi has said that the impact on workers, etc., needs to be examined, and this order should be kept in abeyance. Now, the government's legal experts actually have written in this document that they are loath in supporting any suggestion to delay which will undermine pending legal cases. So, in fact, that can affect legal cases, and I'll just get to that in a minute. And thirdly, of course, the politicians have got their deadlines wrong as well. The health minister accepted the parliamentary panel's demand and refused to set a deadline to implement bigger pictorial warnings. So effectively now, until the committee completes its report, the health warnings will be deferred. Legal experts in the health ministry have told us, and this we've gathered through these documents, that internal documents, that they've actually said that they shouldn't defer it indefinitely. In fact, they've actually advocated that maximum for 3 months or 6 months is how long this matter should be deferred. What's really interesting, Gargi, is the fact that this particular delay by the government has come in for a challenge as well. In fact, documents have actually told us how health ministry officials have warned that this is not going to be tenable. It may not stand up scrutiny in court. Well, that's exactly something that happened. And I'm also joined by Rahul Joshi, a petitioner from Jaipur. He's someone who's actually lost family members to tobacco, and he took up this cause. And interestingly, he took his petition to the Rajasthan High Court. Mr. Joshi, if you're online with me, you'd actually taken up this petition in the Rajasthan High Court, and the court actually agreed with you, saying that there was no need for the central government to actually defer these pictorial warnings.
And the court not only agreed upon my views, but also stayed the corrigendum dated 26th March 2015, by which the Union of India deferred the implementation of rules of 2014, through which the warning was to be increased to the extent of 85%.
And Mr. Joshi, in fact, it's not just the centre. In fact, the Rajasthan High Court has asked the centre to go ahead and, in fact, implement these stronger warnings. It's also asked the state of Rajasthan, in fact, where you reside, why they had actually reduced the VAT on tobacco products as well.
Exactly. They have questioned, they have asked the state of Rajasthan to file within 2 weeks reply why the VAT was drastically reduced from 65% to near about 10 to 15%.
Mr. Joshi, in fact, I spoke with Mr. Dilip Gandhi. He's a member of parliament from the BJP, but also the chairman of that parliamentary panel, which has asked for more time. Let's just listen in as to what he had to tell me.
अरे अभी चलते रहेंगे मीटिंग्स और चलते रहेंगे, बहुत सारा कुछ होना है अभी। ओके, बट कुछ टाइम लिमिट सर इसमें?
कुछ तो अभी मेरे हाथ में नहीं है ना सर। हमने बोल दिया आपको, एक विषय जब तक कमेटी होगी तो होगी, रिपोर्ट आएगा ना, क्यों आप चिंता कर रहे हैं?
कब तक सर, कब तक आपके हिसाब से?
चिंता मत करिए आप।
सर कब तक लगता है आपको हो पाएगा?
मेरे को नहीं बोल सकता हूँ ना, मैं वही बोला आपको।
So in fact, Mr. Joshi, you just heard Dilip Gandhi there telling me that as far as the committee is concerned, he can't really give us a time frame as to when the committee will in fact complete its work, and that's in fact perhaps dangerous according to many people who are fighting against tobacco, because that essentially now leaves the game field open and there is no time limit. And what's interesting, of course, is the fact that these RTI documents clearly tell us that even experts in the health ministry have said that if at all this has to be deferred, it should be deferred maximum for 6 months. In fact, there is no precedence to defer it at all. In fact, the panel is just advisory in nature. Mr. Joshi, if I can just ask you now, the fact is that the parliamentary panel, and you just heard the chief there, Dilip Gandhi, telling me that he's not really sure by when the entire study will be complete, when the report will be finalized. And of course, till then, the bigger pictorial warnings are not being implemented. What's at stake according to you?
Actually, the tobacco manufacturers have already received more than 6 months' time, because the rules were framed in October 2014, and those rules were to come into force on 1st April 2015. So more than 6 months were already were given to them, and they are seeking just this is just delaying tactics. They are seeking time just to delay the matter under pressure of tobacco lobby, and that is not sustainable, because that is also against the provisions of the Tobacco Act 2003. Section 31 says that government can bring only rules to give effect to the provisions of Act, not to create hurdles or to puncture the provisions of Act.
And Mr. Joshi, just very briefly, if I can ask you that, one more member of the panel has said that as far as BD manufacture is concerned, that should be left out of this, because BDs essentially don't cause cancer. That's what one member of parliament has said.
They are not experts. Please ask doctors. Please ask the experts. Experts says that BD cause more harm than the cigarettes, because cigarettes are also, some cigarettes are also filter cigarettes, and BD can't be, maximum BD can be taken at par. But my personal opinion is that BD causes more harm than the cigarettes. So BD can't be kept out from this thing.
BD can't be kept out is what Mr. Joshi is saying. Mr. Joshi, we're going to have to leave it there. We're running out of time, but thanks so much for joining us. Well, in fact, health experts have said that all tobacco products essentially need to have these larger pictorial warnings that dissuades new young smokers, consumers of tobacco from taking up the habit. Clearly, the debate is out there, but these documents have clearly revealed to us that as far as the ministry is concerned, there was enough advice which said that there should not be a delay, and if at all, it should be for maximum 6 months. We'll have to just essentially leave the question there to the health minister as to why essentially that's something that he went ahead and left it open-ended. We've tried to contact the health minister. We'll try and find out what essentially prevailed on the health ministry, where they left this entire matter open-ended. Back to you, Gargi.